Welcome to episode 2 of Ghost Stories at the Cottage. I'm your host Natasha, and tonight I'll be reading part 2 of The Cursed Teacup. The next day, a new face arrived at the mansion. Spencer Churchill was the new butler brought in from a prestigious butler academy. But Spencer was here for another reason. "Do you always eat lunch in the kitchen?" he suddenly asked Gwen on her way out the door after lunch with Mrs. Finch. "Almost every day," she answered hesitantly. "Have you ever poked around in there?" he questioned. "Ever seen a cherry blossom teacup?" "Maybe," Gwen answered tersely. "Why?" Spencer led her into the library. "I know you've been snooping around here," he said once inside. "Have you ever heard the legend of the Cursed Teacup?" "The Cursed Teacup? No." "According to Japanese folklore, an object that has been abandoned for some time can absorb energy and acquire a spirit or a yokai. These lonely, restless spirits can wreak mischief and mayhem upon the new owners of the objects they inhabit." Gwen was so lost. "Where are you going with this?" she asked. "Legend has it that one of these yokai has come all the way to America and has been circulating around Simsbury in a cherry blossom teacup. The teacup was said to belong to a noble family, but over the years it was forgotten until it became possessed. The last person to own the teacup before her family brought it to the antique store experienced what doctors called fits and hallucinations. According to her ramblings, she was literally wasting away. She said the tea in the cup was slowly absorbing her life force. She even looked translucent in photographs and in the mirror. She died 17 days later. Daisy Miller also died 17 days after her birthday, didn't she?" Gwen could not believe what she was hearing. Spencer had to be insane. A cursed teacup? That was impossible. "You don't believe me," Spencer said. "I can see the look on your face." "Why are you telling me this?" Gwen asked. "Because I know why you're really here, and I'm here for the same reason, and I need your help to get the teacup." That night, Gwen dreamed of a wishing well in a fantastical fairy forest. When she looked into the well, the water was swirling around. The closer she looked, the clearer the contents of the water became. There were tea leaves swirling around in the water. A grotesque, evil-looking face appeared. It very quickly turned sad as the tea in the well spun around, getting closer and closer. It shot out of the well and engulfed her. Gwen was drowning. She couldn't breathe. In the darkness, she heard the cries of who she assumed was Daisy Miller. She saw flashes of newspaper headlines about an unfortunate accident. Gwen woke up in a cold sweat. She avoided going into the house for a while, until one day she realized she was being ridiculous. There was no such thing as the cursed teacup, and she shouldn't let a nightmare shake her up so much. Gwen went into the kitchen for lunch. Much to her horror and surprise, Mrs. Finch was drinking tea right out of the cherry blossom teacup. "It's almost Daisy's birthday, and I thought this would be a great way to honor her memory," she happily explained. "I can almost feel her presence." Gwen pushed back her panic. She smiled, and they continued their lunch as normal. Mrs. Finch shared stories of Daisy. But the happiness and normalcy didn't last long. As the days went on, Mrs. Finch began to deteriorate. She became forgetful and paranoid. And that concludes part 2 of The Cursed Teacup. Let us know in the comments below if you think Mrs. Finch is now cursed and whether you think that Gwen and Spencer can solve this mystery, break the curse, and save Mrs. Finch, or if you think she's doomed. Let us know what you think will happen next, and tune in next week for part 3 of The Cursed Teacup.